Thank you so much, Mr. Ramaswamy. Thank you so much. We are on the air now. Let's see, where do I even start? Let's start with the way you started at the beginning of the debate.
Yeah.
You really came out hot on kind of everybody.
I'm very frustrated with the losing culture in the Republican Party.
Well, you went after, for our viewers who didn't see the debate, you went after the RNC chair, who is hosting you here. You went after the network hosting you here. And pretty much everybody in between. You say you're frustrated, but they're not your opponents.
No, but I think that what I am doing in this race is speaking truth 360 degrees. I've been very critical of the Democratic Party. If you listen to my final words on stage, I think that it's important that the Democrat Party be honest about who the nominee is going to be. I think we all quietly acknowledge it's very unlikely to be Joe Biden. Be honest with the people now. But I would say the same to the media.
What makes you think that? He's Gavin Newsom.
I mean, why is Gavin Newsom flying on a private jet using private funds or California funds to go to China?
Joe Biden
He's not running. I mean, Gavin Newsom is not running for president in the same way that Ron DeSantis wasn't running for president for years.
I don't want to talk about Gavin Newsom, but could you ask that question? He's like the 5th or 7th economy in the world in California. But let's talk about Joe Biden.
But what I would say is, to answer your question, because I'm happy to talk about my point about Biden, I just think it's true that Biden is not going to be the nominee. I think that most people in the Democratic Party will quietly acknowledge it. Just say it out loud and you build trust with the people. But what I'm saying is, as a Republican candidate, I can't just call out Democrats and their corruption. I've called out the Hunter Biden corruption from Ukraine and the $5 million bribe. And I will continue to do that. But I will call it out the Republican Party.
There's no evidence to support
as well.
There's no evidence to support
that he was paid a $5 million bribe from Burisma.
No.
Well, if he was, that's corruption.
Did a fact check.
Okay.
But if he was, I just want you're making an allegation where there's no evidence.
There's literally
to back that up. Daniel Dale literally just talked about this on the air.
Absolutely. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence and testimonial evidence to suggest it. You have U.S. senators saying they've received information. The investigations are proceeding as we speak, but that is corruption in the Democratic Party that I have called out, and I think what deserves to be called out in the Republican Party as well.
There's no evidence.
No, I've not admitted there's no. There's absolutely evidence.
Circumstantial evidence, but
well, look, Chuck Grassley. Ask Chuck Grassley for the actual recordings that are actually turned over from Burisma.
We have them. Nobody has seen it. But let's.
Why haven't they released? And I think whether it's one thing I was to say is bipartisan point. Whether you're Joe Biden or Nikki Haley, release your tax returns. Be completely open about where you've made your money. The American people deserve to know. I did something early in this campaign that, frankly, people in both parties should be doing. I put out 20 years of tax returns. I understand why people don't do it, but that's the kind of honesty we need in both parties, and so that's what I stand for.
When we talked after the last debate in California, you said nobody likes a know-it-all, and you seem to have, at least at that point, made a decision not to.
And I'm not a know-it-all. I try not to be.
But what I was going to say is to be as aggressive and to come out as hot as you had before, and you just, I mean, everybody went, wow. And I know that was the point of what you did. But how do you think that's going to get you enough votes to beat Donald Trump?
So I've actually made a pretty clear decision on how we're approaching this race, certainly for the remainder of it, and it's been for most of this race to date. I'm not a political horse race analyst. I think a candidate's at their best when they're not calculating how you're building some sort of patchwork path, using effective political slogans to win certain groups, focus grouped or otherwise. We're just not running this campaign that way. I'm unrestrained in speaking what needs to be spoken that the other people are not saying about the Republican Party, about the Democrat Party, about the media. And my bet is that that's going to be the winning political strategy. Because when I travel this country, that's what our base of voters is hungry for. They're sick and tired of the poll-tested platitudes. I'm not somebody who does well with poll-tested platitudes anyway. So we'll go with the truth of where I'm at my best, which is being unvarnished, being unshackled, speaking the truth, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. And I think that our bet is that'll be the successful approach.